2-0 sweep with the complimentary plays yesterday as I cashed in with 2 run line releases. The Giants is the big underdog last night at home, and the Washington Nationals, of course, the favorite at home on the run line. But hey, a 2-0 sweep is a 2-0 sweep, and I have 2 more complimentary plays for this Friday card to get your weekend started. In terms of who had the big play yesterday, well, there were 2 of them. Brad Wilton, who had won 3 straight days with 100 dime max wager releases, decided to raise the bar with a 150 dime play, and he lost with the Cubs on the run line. Steve Buden's Cali Cartel had 50 dime winner number 3 out of 4 this baseball season. They've only had 4 baseball plays going into yesterday. They cashed in with the Nationals on the run line. Well, both of those people have featured plays today. Wilton drops down to his 100-dime winner number 4 in a row this week. And remember, he's going for winning day number 25 out of 37 overall. Once again, it's on the Rangers Twins tonight, number 4 in a row. You get it for over half price off by using coupon code BRAD. And Buden's Cali Cartel going for baseball winner number 4 out of 5 this season. Their home mismatch of the month. Once again, you get it for over half price off. In fact, you get it for only $29, saving $70 off the regular price by using coupon code CALI29, C-A-L-I 29. All your other discounts and promos, etc., are over on the homepage. Of course, yesterday I mentioned about the NBA draft, so I don't know about you, but I sat there for 4 hours last night, and then I sat there afterwards poring over the internet, looking at everybody's picks, and hey, listen, these are my observations for what it's worth in terms of how I thought the different teams did in terms of after what happened in the draft. I thought the Phoenix Suns, naturally, when you have the number 1 draft pick, you ought to have a great night. And obviously they had the first pick, and they took, as everybody expected them to, the big guy out of Arizona, DeAndre Ayton. And listen, they may say that the big men are no longer the way to go in the NBA, that they're becoming obsolete, but this guy is good, and this guy is talented, and as he develops and he becomes, even more of a physical presence, and he becomes stronger, and he matures, he's going to be a force in the league. And he's just so nimble around the basket, and he has such a nice shooting touch as well. And when you think about this team, and then they pulled off the draft deal with the 76ers, getting Mikal Bridges out of Villanova, who's going to be a nice complementary piece. So you've got Ayton, right? And now you already had Devin Booker. So now you've got the inside-outside game. And you've got TJ Warren, who's an instant offense guy. And you've got Bridges, who's a very good three-point shooter. And I don't foresee him as being a starter, but a nice guy coming off the bench. The Suns, who have been floundering for years, suddenly, they have built a nice young nucleus out there that you can see that if they put together just a couple more pieces, and they've got Josh Jackson as well, I forgot about that, a couple more pieces, a savvy veteran add-on here and there, this team could sneak in and pull off and make get that 8th playoff spot out in the West. I like what they did. And, of course, the big trade at the top of the draft board last night between the Mavericks and the Hawks, I don't know. Listen, Luka Doncic may be a generational player, and I understand the Mavericks wanting to go out, and they've always had such great success, starting with Dirk Nowitzki when it comes to that foreign influence and that foreign player. I mean, has there been anybody better than Dirk over the years, right? And going out and getting him, but it kind of defeats the purpose of having Dennis Smith Jr. on your team when you go out and get another guard that's going to need the ball in his hands all the time. I don't get that. They need so much, and they give up a first-round draft pick, a future pick, I think in 2020 or 2021 in the process, in the move with the Hawks to move up to get him, too. Now, the Hawks get Trae Young. Good move for the Hawks. I mean, he's going to be a star. He's going to put a lot of points on the board. I don't like their other 2 first-round picks, including Amari Spellman out of Villanova. But we'll see. You look at the Celtics. They get Robert Williams. A lot of people are saying, hey, he was a steal, getting him late at the 27th pick, the big guy out of Texas A&M. But is he going to show up day in, day out? That's always the question with him. Somebody tell me what the Charlotte Hornets are doing, please. They get rid of Dwight Howard, and it really didn't do much for them in terms of a salary dump and their future cap situation. They get Miles Bridges, and I think he's going to be a good player. But Devontae Graham from Kansas, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Okay, you got a nice backup for Kemba Walker. Now, if you want to trade Kemba Walker, Devontae Graham isn't going to be your answer as a replacement. I mean, the Chicago Bulls, I thought they did a nice job. 7 spot, they get Wendell Carter. I think you can put him right in there next to Lauri Markkanen. Nice player to join the front line. I like Chandler Hutchinson. I thought that was a great pick at 22. I thought he'd go higher. The guy out of Boise State, like that. Cavaliers, I thought Colin Sexton. Listen, I mean, how many old guys can you keep plugging into the backcourt for the Cavaliers? It's about time you got some youth and some talent and somebody can shoot the hell out of the ball. I thought the Nuggets, it was just, talk about a gift from the gods dropping into your lap, getting Michael Porter Jr. I know there's a question about his back, but if that back holds up, you got to steal. And you could ultimately this season see him along with Jokic and Paul Millsap starting along the front line. And then in the second round, they got Jared Vanderbilt out of Vanderbilt, and I think he has some talent as well. I'm looking at some of the other teams here, just quickly looking down. The Indiana Pacers. I thought getting Aaron Holiday out of UCLA, at the 23 pick. I mean, this guy has a future. And I think that he is going to eventually turn into quite a good point guard in the NBA. The Clippers, they get a couple of guards, and they certainly need them. But Jerome Robinson out of Boston College, I'm sorry. I saw Jerome Robinson a lot this year. I thought he might be a high second-round pick. Going at 13? Don't get it. Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr. Did you watch any Michigan State basketball last year? I did. I don't understand the infatuation with Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, and listen, Javon Carter, great player at West Virginia. Great player. Don't see it translating into the pros. I don't understand. Are the Memphis Grizzlies forever going to score 82 points a game and hope that they hold their opponents to 82 as well? I don't understand the whole makeup of that team, the direction of that team. The Bucks getting the Villanova sharpshooter there, Dante DiVincenzo, another shooter on the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, that's what the Milwaukee Bucks need. But anyway, I thought that was a damn good pick. I thought the Tony Carr out of Penn State, the second-round pick at number 51 that the Pelicans got, a team that because of salary cap problems, they needed another shooter, and I think that this guy can provide that for them. He came out of Penn State early. I watched a lot of him in college. I think that this guy can be a nice, solid player off the bench for them. The Knicks, Kevin Knox, boy, I don't know, at number 9. I mean, this guy, I think it's going to be one way or another. He is either going to develop into a star player or he's going to be another dismal Knicks failure in the first round. There is no in between for that guy. And the Magic. Listen, I think Mo Bamba is going to be a defensive force in the NBA. Absolute defensive force. You tell me if he's going to develop an offensive game. And then riddle me this, folks. Tell me, who's going to get him the ball inside? Because you look at that Magic roster and you identify anybody that looks like a point guard on that roster. Because they don't have one. And did they find one in the draft? No, because at number 35 they took Melvin Frazier, who's a shooting guard out of Tulane. They don't have a point guard. My 76ers. So they take Mikal Bridges, and everybody thought what a great pick that was for Villanova. And then less than an hour later, they flip him, sending him to Phoenix, getting Zaire Smith out of Texas Tech. Brett Brown comes from San Antonio, loves Smith because it reminds him of a young Kawhi Leonard. Reminds him of a young gun. Okay? And they get a future first-round draft pick, 2021, from the Miami Heat. They're looking at it as assets going forward because now they've got a stockpile of picks. They're looking to make a move now, whether it's free agency starting in July 1st, whether it's a trade with all their assets, with that first pick from a few years down the road as a valuable asset. But he loves Smith because of what he reminded him in terms of Leonard when he was with the Spurs. And then they get a couple of guards, one out of Wichita State and Shake Milton out of SMU, too, to help their backcourt. Not a bad draft for them. Sacramento Kings. I mean, does it seem to you like the Kings every single year draft another forward? But this year, I think they got it right with Marvin Bagley, the third. I think he's going to be a star in the NBA. No ifs, ands, or buts. I thought the Spurs did a good job getting Lonnie Walker the fourth. I saw him play high school basketball in Reading, Pennsylvania. And I think that playing in Miami, some injury issues early in his freshman year, but also playing in a Miami system that doesn't exactly let you show how good you are offensively. I think that this guy is going to be a much better pro once he gets in that San Antonio system. And I like the guy they got out of USC who had an injury-riddled campaign the past couple of years. I can't remember, the big power forward. I think that if he can stay healthy, big question with his knees, I think that's a good pick for them. I thought Utah, last year they got the steal of the entire draft with Donovan Mitchell, and now they go and get a backcourt partner with Grayson Allen. I mean, say what you will about this guy, but I think he is going to be a better pro. I think this guy is going to be a damn good shooter in the pros, and I think with Mitchell and him in the backcourt could be scary. And then they get Vincent Edwards out of Purdue in the second round with the 52 pick. A nice compliment there to their starting front court. I think that he can be a valuable 7th, 8th man coming off the bench. So anyway, just some of my thoughts about last night's draft. As I told you in yesterday's video, just one of my favorite days of the entire year. So let's talk about tonight's free picks. The first one, I'm going to go with the Houston Astros. Obviously not on the money line because they're minus 300. I got to take them on the run line, minus still a high price, $1.50 over Kansas City. Because how in the hell can you bet on Kansas City? I don't care what the price you're getting on Kansas City. How can you bet on a Kansas City team that is batting collectively as a team 188 this month? A team that is now 30 games under 500 for the season. A team that is 12-23 on the road. A team that has lost 9 straight games. That has lost 15 out of 16. That has scored 30 runs during that 16-game slide. Yeah, okay. Dallas Keuchel is going for Houston tonight. Has he pitched well this season? Absolutely not. But in his last start, which came at Kansas City, part of a 3-game sweep for the Astros at Kauffman Stadium last week, part of that 10-0 road trip for the Astros, what does Keuchel do? He earns a win. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 run allowed. And actually it was 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs allowed, 5 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Not a great pitching line, but keep in mind, in his previous 5 starts, he had a 7.33 earned run average and an 0-3 record. Now, has he pitched well at home this season? Absolutely not. At Minute Maid Field, he's 1-4 in 6 home starts with an earned run average a little over 5, but the Astros have won 13 out of 14. They've scored 92 runs in the process. Danny Duffy, who's going for Kansas City tonight, he lost to Keuchel in that start at home last week. He has a 5.55 earned run average and a whip of 1.55 on the season. In 82 innings, he's allowed 88 hits and walked 40 batters. In 9 road starts, he has an earned run average of a little over 5. So again, I got to play Houston on the run line. Your other complimentary play, I've got to go with the Rockies minus $1.25 on the run line at home against Miami. John Gray has been awful this year for the Rockies. 6.75 earned run average and 4 career starts against the Marlins. Pitching at home this season, 6.45 ERA and 7 starts in Denver, which is kind of surprising because last year in 8 starts at home, he actually pitched very well, 5-1 with a 3.13 earned run average. And he's coming off 2 bad starts in a row. They were on the road, Texas and Philadelphia, but again, he sucked at home this season as well. But in those 2 starts against the Phillies and the Rangers on the road, he gave up 10 runs in 11 innings. But the Rockies lost the opening game of their homestand this week to the Mets, 10-2. Then they scored 26 runs in winning their next 3 against the Mets. This is one of the few times this season the Rockies have shown any consistent offense at home. Marlins, worst record in the National League on the road at 15-25, coming off back-to-back road losses at San Francisco. Even though they're 3-3 on their current road trip, I'm willing to invest on the Rockies minus $1.25 on the run line. Of the 2 plays, I would say, even though Houston is the higher priced on the run line, I like the Astros more. That's it. Good luck. Talk to you again tomorrow.